All right, it's 7 p.m. on Tuesday, August 8th, 2023, and we are going to open the regular board meeting. Roll call, please.
I have trustees Chris Sample is absent. John Talbot.
Here.
Jen Christensen.
Here.
Bill Motisi.
Here.
Nathan Maz.
Here.
Patrick Yarlum.
Here.
President Rick Worm.
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onavini.
Here.
I'm Clerk Sandy Maz. I'm here, and Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie.
Here. All right, would you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Right, on the consent agenda, we have 4 items. Number 1, the July 11th, 2023 regular board meeting minutes. Number 2, bills payable dated August 8th, 2023 for a total of $267.52. Number 3, outside meeting pay for elected officials, total of $100. And number 4, resolution number 23-45, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of a propane locked price agriculture commercial sales agreement for September 1, 2023 to April 30, 2024 by and between Thompson Gas LLC and the Village of Davis Junction. At this time, do any of the board members wish to remove any of those 4 items for further discussion? Entertain the first motion.
I move to place agenda items 1 through 4 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as a consent agenda.
Second. Jen makes a motion to place items 1 through 4 inclusively as a consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris is absent, Patrick.
Yes.
Motion passes 703.
I move to adopt items 1 through 4 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
Second. Jen moves to adopt items 1 through 4 inclusively as consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris is absent, Patrick.
Yes.
Jen.
Yes.
Motion also passes at 703. We don't need item D, which is the removal. And the reports. Does anybody have any questions on the water or fuel reports? All we have left is utility bill. Brenda, don't you want to draw it? You have to get up. Right. Get you up there.
It's just $25 off the next utility bill.
536 Autumn Wolf Drive. I think we know those people. They like fences. We want to
Yep.
put it, Sandy?
The only thing I have on the agenda is the FOIA report, but if you guys notice, there's actually nothing in your board packet as I did not receive any FOIAs last month. And then just a heads up, I will be out of the office next week and Brenda will be here to answer all of your questions.
About what?
Whatever you need out of the clerk's
Oh.
office.
Can I give you an answer?
That's all I have.
All right, Brenda, treasurer.
Well, I have the treasurer's report in there for July. Got any questions, let me know. And then I have Lindsay's here from Sickage to give a presentation for the fiscal year 2023 audit.
Thank you. Well, as Brenda said, my name is Lindsay Fish. I am a senior manager at Sickage. I was in charge of overseeing the audit this year. As a part of the audit, we issued a few different reports, but my comments tonight are going to focus on the annual financial report. I'll just go over our audit opinions, give you a few financial highlights, and then answer any questions you may have. So if you have the report in front of you, and you want to follow along, I'll give you page numbers.
They do not. Can you
That's
actually,
great as well.
can you give me 1 second?
Yeah.
I forgot that you actually got that with that. So let me pull it up real quick.
That's in your board pack too. so-
Yes, it is in your board packet. Sorry about that. And usually better. All right, so which one are you gonna start? Are you gonna
On the annual financial report.
Oh, I put it right front form. All right,
Perfect, so I'm gonna start on page 1, it's the page that is on Sickich letterhead, that's our independent auditors report. The first paragraph there includes our opinion on your financial statements. In our opinion, the financial statement present fairly in all material respects, the modified cash basis financial position of the governmental activities, the business type activities, and each major fund of the Village of Davis Junction as of April 30th, 2023. What that means is that we have issued a clean, unmodified opinion on the village's financial statements. So congratulations to the village on the receipt of that unmodified opinion. If you turn to page 2, just a few things that I'm going to point out that are included within our auditor's report is, the first paragraph there is responsibilities of management for the financial statements. Just a reminder that management is ultimately responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with the modified cash basis of accounting. The paragraph below that talks about the auditor's responsibilities. So our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free from concealment statement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue in a report that includes our opinion. If you flip a couple pages into page number 4, this is your statement of net position on the modified cash basis. This includes 2 columns, one for your governmental activities, so those are, essentially your tax supported funds as well as your landfill fund, and then your business type activities, so these are your water, sewer, and garbage funds. These are presented on the economic resources measurement focus basis of accounting. So what that means is it includes any capital assets of the village as well as any debt of the village are included on this statement. The governmental activities, if you look at the bottom of the page, the total net position, for the governmental activities, you had a total net position of about 13.6 million. Of that, about 7.7 million was invested in capital assets. A small amount of that was restricted, and then you also had 5.7 million of unrestricted net position. Similarly, for the business type activities, you had a total net position of about 8.4 million. Of that, 9.3 million was invested in capital assets, and you did have a slight deficit unrestricted position of 861,000. Next page is page 5 and 6. Again, this is more on it's your income statement, but it's on your long-term view, and it's kind of hard to see it on that screen because you can kind of read it in front of you because you read it as like an upside down L kind of, but essentially, as you look at this page, you have your expenses for each function. So you see like your general government, streets, alleys, and bridges, as well as your business type activities, water, sewer, garbage. And then as you read across the page, you see any charges for services that supported those. And then if you read downwards, you see any general revenues that offset your expenses. But essentially, the main thing I would look at here is the third line at the bottom is your change in net position. So your governmental activities did have a decline in net position of 842,000, and your business type activities had an increase in net position of about $1 million. The main reason for those big changes is really the transfer from the landfill fund into the sewer fund to pay off the IEPA loan. So transfers in and out is about the fourth line up there on the bottom. So you can see there was 1.5 million that was transferred from governmental activities to business activities. Next page is page 7. This is your balance sheet for your governmental funds. This removes any of that long-term debt, long-term assets. This is probably more kind of the report that you're used to seeing, the balances you're used to seeing. So you've got a column for your general fund, which your landfill fund is also included in there, and then your motor fuel tax and TIF funds. I would look at the second line from the bottom there, your total fund balances. Your general fund had ending fund balance of 7 million, MFT had about 200,000, and your TIF had a deficit of about 1.3 million. In your general fund, you'll see your fund balance is categorized in 3 different categories. You have non-spendable advances to other funds to cover any cash shortfalls in other funds. You have an amount that is assigned for next year's budget. So if when you're budgeting, you're budgeting more expenditures than revenues, we show that as assigned fund balance in your audit report. And then you have an unassigned, which is everything that's left over essentially. So you have 1.7 million of unassigned fund balance. So essentially you have about one year worth of reserves there sitting in your general fund in that unassigned category.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Or maybe ask for some explanation, because we do have Pat who's new, but I don't know if you could explain why there is a negative balance in the TIF fund, or if Brenda wants to take half a second to explain, or if you can explain it. I don't know if you can explain it.
When we put in the water,
Can you
so
talk into the microphone?
when we put in the water, sewer and the streets down in the TIF area, we paid for it out of the general fund. So that's what that money is.
So we're waiting to pay ourselves back, which
Yes.
is why there's a deficit in there.
So maybe eventually, when we get more businesses over there, we'll whittle down at that.
Yeah, so I guess my thing is just don't be alarmed that it's negative. That's
Yeah,
why.
and so you'll see like, and essentially there's a liability that's an advance from
Yeah.
other funds there, and that is offset in that general funds, that's part of what that. Advanced other funds is in your general fund is for that. If you go to page 9, now this is your income statement for your governmental funds. The third row from the bottom there shows your changes in fund balances by fund. Your general fund had a slight increase in fund balance of 127,000, and that's after the $1.5 million transfer out. Your MFT had an increase of about 34,000, and your TIF had a slight decline in fund balance of 700,000 or $744.
We couldn't be lucky for
Yeah.
700,000.
Next page is page 11. This is your statement of net position for your proprietary funds, so your water, sewer, and garbage funds. Your total net position in your water fund was about 1.5 million, your sewer fund about 6.7 million, and your garbage fund about 260,000. Of this, most of it was your investment in capital assets. So again, your water had 2.1 million invested in capital assets, sewer had 7.2 million invested in capital assets. And then the remaining net position is showed as an unrestricted balance or a deficit unrestricted balance there. And that's again to do those advances between funds. And well, the last page I'll cover here is page 12, and this is your income statement for your proprietary funds. So if you look at the middle of the page there, you'll see your operating income or loss. So your water had a slight operating loss of 50,000, sewer 437,000, and garbage had an increase of 3,000. Overall, your change in net position for your water fund declined pretty much the same as your operating loss of 50,000. Your sewer had an increase in net position again from that transfer in the general fund, so they actually had an increase in net position of 1 million, and then your garbage had a slight increase of 3,000. That concludes my comments on your audit report, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
These losses here, I don't know if you can answer it, but again, maybe I'm asking questions so that they know. These losses here in the water and sewer, those are essentially the villages under receiving income for those funds, correct?
Yeah, and if you look at your budget versus actual, I mean, it was, you actually did better than what was budgeted if you compare it to your budget.
Yeah, but this, I'm pointing this out for our board members when we talk about how we are subsidizing still with the general fund, our water and sewer funds. This is what we're talking about is that, yeah, we're using general funds to cover that deficit.
Yep.
So when people complain about their water and sewer prices, we're still subsidizing.
They don't want to know the break even number.
No, they don't want to cover that additional $508,000.
Yeah.
And Chris is not here, who's our finance trustee, and so if he has questions, I'll have Brenda or him contact
Yeah,
you.
no problem. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Yep.
Any further, Brenda?
But I'd like to thank everybody for finishing their sexual harassment training. Finally,
Quiz. Yeah, you just show up.
that's all.
All right.
Hold on, do they have to take cybersecurity training?
It's optional.
I meant to tell you about it.
I read that.
It's optional for what?
It's optional. for- You want me to?
No, we're good.
I can give them the form to fill out.
We're good.
All right, Jen, community developments and events.
So it says we're in a discussion on budget.
Can I share a quick story with you first?
Sure.
And I totally should have told you this beforehand.
Huh.
So Brenda and I went to lunch with Stillman Valley shortly the Thursday after our last meeting. And we said, hey, we heard at the meeting that you guys are doing your sesquicentennial in
Sure.
in 24. And Yvonne goes, no, we're doing it in 25. And I said, what? I said, Google said that your year of incorporation was 1874. She goes, yeah, but their banner outside, their awning outside their office says 1875. And then the school district website says that the village was incorporated in 1876. So I don't know if they know when they were incorporated, but they are for sure doing it in 1875.
In the
or
middle.
in
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought
2025.
when we talked about it at the electronic
Yeah,
recycling.
so they are for sure doing it in 2025, potentially. Maybe that's changed in the last week since Yvonne and I had this conversation about when they're actually incorporated. But I told them that we planned on doing ours in June, and so I don't know what their plans are, but I did want you to know I did mention it to her. And they have no idea what they're doing. Yeah, they haven't,
What month did they?
they don't know that, hence the 74, 75, 76.
Okay.
Sorry, that was
But-
my only update on that.
Is budget something we wanna discuss without Chris here?
No, because you probably have the numbers.
Well, I think you need to know what you're going to do.
Well, we think we need to know.
Well,
what the
that's
number
fine,
we
'cause
want-
I was
What we want to
Looking
spend.
at different activities, I'm like, well, I really don't wanna start planning activities unless I know a budget
And I think
to,
maybe this will just be an ongoing agenda item until. we
but
get
yeah, that's
there.
fine.
Erica did put it on the back of the water bill to contact
Okay.
you or Rick, and I put both your emails and cell phone
Okay.
numbers. So I believe water bills will start being received yesterday or today, yesterday,
Well,
Yeah, mine came yesterday.
or 2 days ago.
I got it Monday,
Guess it depends on the truck.
Monday.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Mondays.
Did anybody contact you?
No,
No,
like I said, I think I got mine yesterday.
I'm sure they'll rush.
All right.
They have to actually see the back. So we'll leave the budget, the ongoing thing, and then we have the discussion on our Halloween. Giveaway, call it that instead of a party.
What'd you want to do again?
We had talked at the last meeting about doing the drive-through and doing it on Halloween.
In two different places, that's right.
Well, we talked about either doing it we had two different locations we could do it, or however we wanted to do it, but
So,
I think that's a good idea. I mean, I don't know.
sounds good. I don't know how you're gonna make, the more I think about it, though, that's a tight parking lot for cars to come in and turn around. If you do it in the 10-acre park lot.
Yeah, I think the fire station is the best place, cause there's different ways they can turn in and out
Well,
on.
you just drive one in.
Right, go out the
10
other,
acre park, that would be, everybody be just,
right? And the Halloween's on what, a Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay, so we won't have any other issues in the parking lot.
We don't have a meeting that night.
well, if you're gonna use the 10-acre parking lot, Brett or somebody, I'm sure we could block that off and make. We could just make sure it was empty before the Halloween event started, so there's not cars in there making it hard to whip a
Cause that's
turn.
because I'm thinking, cause all of the football and all that is usually done, soccer's done by then, so we don't have to deal with that.
Not that I think you'll have an overwhelmingly large amount of cars, but if you're standing here, they can just go up and turn around. Come back out.
That's why I think. But I do like the idea of doing it on Halloween, cause I think it gets out there more. But, you know,
Do you want to advertise for on Halloween date then?
yeah,
Okay.
I just gotta figure out a good time to start it.
Well, and I talked to Erica and I told you like here at Village Hall, we're willing to, if you
Mhm.
need us to get it kicked off or whatever, or help you set it up, 'cause I know that you've got school and everything too, so we can always start it here too.
Cause like if we kept trick or treating from 5 to 8, which we've been the last how many years? Wonder if we could start it off at like 4:30, if that's too early.
Or even 4 to get them to go through. I see what you're saying.
I'm just thinking that once they get out, or if we should do it at 5.
Just do it trick or treat hours, and if it's at the park, people can.
Well, cause I'm hoping to catch people as they're going by to do it, you know? But that would be the question is how long do we hold it? 4.
You probably saw walkers. You saw walkers.
Right. That would be the only thing is the time frame. To do it. That would be the questionable thing. We'll figure.
But I can tell Erica, go ahead and tell her it's on Halloween.
Yes, we'll do it on holiday. Excuse me.
Do you
And
want,
unless we give them away until they're gone and then,
and I think that might be it, and maybe we encourage, like, we can advertise, like, make this your first stop so that you
Mhm.
get your trick or treat bag, cause you always put them in a bag that
Mhm.
they can use for trick or treating. So we could definitely advertise, like, make this your first stop, get your free bag.
5 to 8 or until supplies.
well, yeah, cause I only do so many of them, so.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, while the parking lot over here is probably the most convenient, it has the largest, the problem is, this is the furthest from all of the trick or treaters.
Yeah, but if you have people, if it's drive through and people are driving through there, you're gonna create a bottleneck. Cars trying to get into subdivision.
I think we wanna do drive-through or walkers though, right?
Mhm.
We're trying to catch them either way, so if they're walking, they can walk up and grab
Yep.
one.
I'll figure something out.
It's going to create a bottleneck
Right,
at 72 and Junction Road where you're gonna block. Like when there's a train there, and everybody decides to sit in the middle of the road.
What about doing it at 135 Prairie Moon? They can drive down the street, they can walk up the street,
Old house.
the water plant.
There's nowhere to turn.
Grassy
House
field
is
is
117.
Ah,
So, but then we could put a table up front there. And then they could just walk past or drive past like they do for everything else when they're trick or treating.
I mean,
Do you want that much, what?
Do you want
traffic
even
during-
more cars on the road?
During trick or treating?
It's
But-
already.
Yeah.
There's already time.
yeah,
And we
they,
don't-
they won't pull into the, I wouldn't let them pull into the water.
No, they would drive like they
Right.
do now when they like pull up, let out their
I
15
stay in
kids.
the parking lot and I bring cones. And make a lane for them and then they come up, they just tell me how many kids they have. And
But if you're doing that in front of
Right,
the,
yeah.
you can't do that in front of the water park, they're just gonna be on the street driving
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
water.
Yeah,
So,
but that would catch all your walkers, because the goal is to get a majority of the walkers too. And then those who drive into the subdivision.
My
they're
goal
driving
is
around
the
anyway.
majority of getting rid of them,
We'll make it work.
rid of the bags, that's my goal.
Well, you could just set up a walk-by location and at the 10-acre park and leave the drive at the fire station. Right? Just do it that way then, Mark.
I think the idea is to have a building that you can go to if in case of inclement weather, or
Right.
somewhere to hide if things go south. I mean,
Get
it's,
your car
it's,
and call it quits if it's that bad.
but I mean, I'm assuming you're gonna have boxes of stuff set up outside and everything else, so I mean.
If you did it on the west side of the water plant, you'd have the overhead door. But you could,
Yeah, but we don't want
Panic.
people,
no,
Yeah.
if you had to pull stuff in real quick.
I'm assuming it would just all be in the bed of the pickup.
Yeah,
truck.
you just have
We
to
just pull the truck in.
pull the truck back.
Yeah.
up, but-
Like, I'm assuming we'll just line the boxes up in bed of the pickup truck, back up the pickup truck and pull them out. I'll volunteer Parks's pickup truck for that.
Actually, good. I like that.
All right,
I'll figure something out.
All
all
right,
right.
All right.
let me
There's
know if you
options
want to,
now.
will you just let us also know what you want to change its official name to, since it's not necessarily a parking?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
For that matter, you can set up on the park over here and just.
Call it the Halloween drive up.
You drive by.
Yeah.
You know, call it that. Rockford hears about
Oh,
it.
okay. That's-
Anything further, Jen?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Brenda, do you have anything on behalf of Chris,
Anything you know? No.
just emergency expenditures?
I do not.
All right, over to Bill, ordinance,
Nothing.
Parks,
Everything's going as planned at the moment. I don't have anything else to talk about. This very second.
streets,
Did we leave this on here about Hickory Drive and Audubon Lane because we were waiting for a response from the engineer, whether we did that in the past, can do that in the future?
Yes,
Okay, well, I did not hear anything from the engineer. Brett, did you hear anything from the engineer?
no. Hopefully I wasn't supposed to ask you.
Dale was following up with
That's what I
Jen.
thought.
Yeah, Dale
You
did,
said here.
yeah, Dale did email me the following morning to clarify for Jeff, and I had not heard anything back.
We have not heard anything. If you want to leave it on there, do we do, that'd be great. Brett, do you have anything this evening?
Just Edson and South Junction were seal coated last week. Yeah, that's about it.
That's all we have, Rick.
Wasn't
All right, utilities?
Yeah,
Edson's. up
Make
there.
a motion to approve resolution number 23-46. A resolution approving a proposal for repair of water plant PLC system from PDC Automation in the amount of $3,205.
Second. Patrick makes a motion to approve resolution number 23-46. The amount of $3,205. John seconds. Any discussion?
Everybody knows it's for the repairs from the lightning strike.
It's roll money. Roll money.
John,
Yeah.
Nathan?
Yep.
Chris is absent, Patrick,
Yes.
Jen,
yes.
Bill.
Yes.
727. Any further? Gary? No. All right. We'll move on to, anybody have anything on economic development? Any word from Matt on our agreement with the state?
I actually asked him about this because we were emailing about something else and I asked about that. He said he was gonna follow up with them again. So I'm hoping when he's here in 2 weeks, he will have an update for us.
All right. Unfinished business. Ooh, bring up the one we talked about.
Okay,
It's a good one.
on the LR lease,
Everyone's coming out of it.
well, they did not,
Oh.
but they will now.
That's it.
So, well, I guess two things, and I guess I didn't share this with you. During the storm damage, they were over there working on their own equipment. And we were talking about the damage to our equipment. And he had mentioned, he's like, well, this wouldn't have occurred if we had had that lease agreement for the fiber. And I mentioned, I said, yes. And so we gave you all the information you asked for 9 months ago and haven't heard anything back. Ball's still in LR's court. I did remind them of that again. That being said, this morning it came to our attention that LR has not been paying the full lease amount. They increased their fee for the first anniversary and has not done it for the last 4 anniversaries. And so, I just did the math before the meeting and they owe us about $800 in back rent payments or back lease payments. So Rick's gonna send them a letter asking them for our back lease payments, but also reminding them to, of the increases. And then I'm assuming you want me to talk about the
Yep.
second, okay. And so then.
Be in the letter, they'll know.
Did
Yeah,
they break
yeah.
our lease, doing that,
Yeah,
and that can have an effect like that?
They do have police. And no. So then the second thing that they're gonna do, that we're gonna mention is, it has come to our attention after this storm that we have to either update our current point-to-point contact system for the well system or go to the fiber, and we have to do it very quickly here. And so they are using that as a part of what they want in their lease, but they're not moving quickly. And so we're going to tell them that the deadline for that, us to even be interested in that is how long it takes us to find our own solution. And so once we have approved our own solution for our internet over there, then we no longer need theirs and it was no longer a negotiation tool for the lease. And so we're just going to remind them that the clock is now ticking. And I hope to have a better system over there before this fiscal year is out.
Did they have a comment when you said that, you've had this information for 9 months?
Nope. Mm-mm. No, the conversation pretty much ended there.
Have we found options or started that search yet?
Yes and yes, but only on an emergency basis. I hope to find something on a more permanent basis. So we do have an emergency repair coming to fix the current wireless connection. And then after that is done, I want to look into a few other options that are out there instead of just rushing with the first emergency one. So we're putting on the Band-Aid right now, but we do have to find a more permanent solution for our internet over there.
LR's never wanted to work with us and they never seemed very amenable. So I mean, if we could sever our relationship, I wouldn't lose any sleep.
Well, it's
And
fine.
why
Bus
would we want
stops
to
and
keep,
available,
why
so-
do you want to agree?
Yep, and this may motivate them to be like, hold on, we still want to be a part of this game, but even with those conversations ongoing, we still have to continue to move forward and look at other options. And so while it seems like duplicative work, I cannot rely upon them to be the sole source of our information.
Their contract comes ending soon, right?
2025.
Right, like 2 years now.
They're just
Yeah.
trying
Year and a
to
half
find
now.
out for them.
So there's my LR lease update.
But we'll need something
Good update.
for a year and a half, correct? Like we need something
Yes.
6 months from now or sooner would be,
I'm gonna guess
Well-
that we probably have a 90 or 120 day severance period with them.
what I mean, but for our needs.
Oh, as soon as
As
possible.
soon as.
Oh,
Yeah, we're literally putting on a Band-Aid.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we did not budget for this. This will be an item that probably exceeds budgeting purposes. So it's probably a good thing Chris isn't here to hear that. But we're literally putting on a $5,000 Band-Aid as we speak, and we need to find a permanent solution. The current system that we use is obsolete.
System. So you're not needing the internet source, you're needing a new system.
Both. The source, the system that we use to transmit the internet is no longer a viable option.
It's 8 years old.
So are you looking for a contractor? Are you looking for a contractor that does that sort of thing?
I am not looking, I have found several.
Cause I have one that we use as well.
I am
Point to point. communication.
They do everything.
I am attempting to get all of our services under one roof if we continue to do point to point. So I'm interested in a name for bidding purposes, but my goal is to put all of our services with one provider so that we have one person handling the entire system. But I've got options out there. I've got a few things I'm looking at. But if you have an idea, please. shoot
No,
me
if
the
it's
info.
just for a bit of.
Yeah.
Which one are you on, Sandy? You're done with Verizon or are you still talking Verizon?
No, that was
That was
LR.
LR.
LR? Oh, okay.
Have we heard anything more since he brought it up? Have we heard anything more on Verizon?
Yes, I believe there's an email with Jen and Chris to have a teleconference with Nan to discuss that. But Chris is out of town this week and doesn't return till after the 14th. And so they started shooting out some dates for everybody's availability, but Chris can not respond. So I think they're gonna try again when he gets back.
But did you see the dates that they want to do it?
I did.
I was like, is that a typo?
They far out?
May?
May.
That's what I was like.
Next.
I think she meant this month. I think it was supposed to say August.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's kind of a little.
I mean, everybody's busy and short staffed right now. so
I'm just not going.
Government takes a while.
Post COVID.
Yeah,
So I wanted to go, is this a typo?
Yeah.
But I didn't. I was like,
I do have one more thing. Next Thursday night is NEMA. Any of the trustees want to go?
That's the Northern Illinois Mayors Association,
Where's the food at? I mean, where's it at?
Amboy.
And boy. We'll hang around, find out what other towns are doing
when is that?
next Thursday night.
You're not available.
Yeah, that won't work for me.
No.
I'll be in the air
You do?
still, probably.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll be in the
If anyone
air.
wants to go, let me know.
I'll be on my way back, but I won't be here.
Tracy's leaving the following day, so she's not.
Okay.
So.
what time is it?
Oh, you're
Oh,
going?
6 PM.
Oh, you're going?
I'm on.
Oh, I just drive with you.
Yeah, you don't have to drive. No, your new car gets taken.
I don't put miles in.
Probably gets double the mileage my Jeep does.
How about whoever wants
42.
to go text you?
Okay, triple the mileage my Jeep does.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let me know if anybody wants to go. Public,
You do not have any.
No Glenda?
No, Glenda.
all right, no public. Anything else in board members,
I have.
Boys, supervisors?
And I forgot.
managers, supervisors?
Jen said something that made me think about it. Oh, I know what it is. So, Thursday at IML, there, is a dinner with Ansel Blank. I will be sending out the information for that. I do need RSVPs for that. I will also be sending out the RSVPs for IML to actually register with a deadline on it. So everybody who has said that they are interested in attending will just need to let me know by the deadline.
You going?
I will,
Oh, no, yeah. Oh. You never know.
well, you RSVP,
It costs-
potential,
it costs
he did a
$5 to get there.
potential. So, anyway, you probably won't see that stuff till the week of the 20th, but just a heads up, that is coming.
Are you a restaurant yet?
Yes, Gene and Giorgetti's.
Oh, wonderful.
And I believe Willett Hoffman, you guys are each responsible
Yes.
for your own on that. I don't even know when the deadline is because I didn't even open it. I don't even know.
I opened it, but I didn't.
Okay, well, there's your reminder to please RSVP for Willett Hoffman as well, please. And that is it. Willett Hoffman's is a great opportunity if you are going to talk to other towns about what's going on.
A lot of those small towns.
A lot of the other small towns in the area go to that dinner. You cannot talk to each other though at that meeting.
All right, anything further from anybody?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
John makes motion to adjourn, Nathan seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We're adjourned at 7:36.
Perfect.